friends, Goddess of Awesome here, and today I am somewhere else. Today I am on tour, my first day on tour. This is the final tour, the last of the last hurrah, my last dance, all of that. So I don't want to tell you exactly where I am just yet because I'm posting these videos and I'm not trying to get in trouble. You know, I'm trying to stay clear of that. But I do want to share my process, you know, there's a lot of things that I know about, so I'm going to share a little bit about that right now just because it came up this morning, and I'm sure through the course of these videos maybe I'll be able to share some insights into how my industry works a little bit. I'm not trying to incite anything. I'm not trying to lure girls this way, but I know a lot of people find it interesting, and even if they don't want to do the work, you know, they'd love to hear about it. And there's some clients out there who could possibly benefit. Some would-be clients could possibly benefit from this information. So today I'm going to talk about time wasters. And in the day of text messaging, you know, a lot of people text message first and then they'll pursue after. Some people don't do that. Some people just call and get their information that way, which I prefer. I prefer a phone call, you know, just nips it in the bud. You don't discuss everything on the phone, but I can hear if someone's serious or if they're just looky-loo. And let me tell you, those looky-loos, I tag your number. I don't answer for you again. Only the serious people. And I can hear it with just the hello. From just a hello on the telephone, I instantly know if I want to see someone or if I don't want to see them just by that. You know how people use their words, their language, how people construct their sentences, and the spacing in between each word. You know, people who have a clear, confident voice, that's who I'm going to probably book with. Someone who's taken a lot of time to formulate what they have to say. There's a lot of spacing in between the words. It's some kind of irregular pattern in the communication process. It's a flag for me, right? Instantly a flag goes up and I say, I don't think so. So I'll either tell them I'm booked up for the day, or I'll just hang up, and then I tag the number and I don't answer again. So here is a number I'm going to talk about that happened today briefly. I'm not trying to make this too long. Also, I have things to do. I can't spend all day doing this with you, creating videos as much as I want to, and that will hopefully be in a few weeks. But for right now, I'm just going to briefly talk about what happened this morning. Now, this morning is my first day. I'm 2 hours out of my time zone, so I'm a little jet lagged, and getting my world together as far as a work day is concerned. You know, usually it starts with emails and, you know, answering any emails that have come in, which are a great way to market, even in this industry. Classy guys email. The well-to-do people usually will send out an email first, normally. Of course, you can have all types of people who email you, but usually the better folk send out an electronic message first, introducing themselves or whatnot. So I had a text message this morning around, let's see what time it came in. It came in around 7:30 in the morning. My hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I do that because I'm a daytime girl. Also, I don't do drugs, so I'm not up in the middle of the night being awake. I work out in the morning, so I want to go to bed early. So if you keep hours that are normal hours, you're going to draw in normal people. You make it so you're available 24/7, and you do answer the phone at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Guess who you're drawing in? You know, I don't think I have to go into detail about that. So here with this time waster, as I tagged him in my phone, his text message comes through. Can I get a massage? This is in October of 2017, so this is months ago. So I tell him yes. I tell him the rates. Okay, what do you have for tomorrow morning? Sounds great. Where are you located? I need time to figure out my commute. So he goes on and he never commits, never follows through. So the next day I get the same message. Can I get a massage? Right? I give him the same answer. This is what time I can do. This is for how much. Now he's trying to chisel me down, right? He wants me to do my half-hour session for $40 less. You know, I'm imported at this point. I traveled from California. I wrote a $500 one-way airplane ticket and put myself up in a really nice hotel that costs over $100 a night. That's really rude. That's rude when people ask for lower rates like that, because I'm valuable. My time is valuable. I'm here for the real players, the real people. I don't mean players like, oh, he's a player. I mean the true people who really want to come in and have this kind of therapy. I'm not a game player here. I don't go in circles and discuss the same thing over and over again and have nothing come into fruition. When things like that happen, I tag you as a time waster, as I did with this person. So he's trying to chisel me down. So I already know what's that going to be like. He's probably going to be very grabby. He's probably going to be a little inconsiderate of me, you know, and do I have the energy to mess with that right now? You know, how much do I need that $100? I don't really need it. You know, my stuff is paid up in advance. I'm not needy and greedy. The worst thing you could ever bring into this industry, or I'm going to just put it out there for any industry in any way you deal with life. When you come at life from a needy perspective or position or space, or greedy, you know, needy and greedy. When you are needy and or greedy, I feel like the universe will find a way to bite you. And no person can test that faster than someone who's in this industry, because the skills of manifestation are they're so relevant in this realm, and you can see it manifest instantly, right? You put out good, you get good back. You put out bad, nothing comes in. You know, you bite your client by stealing from them. I've never stole from a client. Some people do. Repercussions happen fast. Goodness happens fast when you put out the right energy in this industry. So, getting back to the time waster, I already knew he was going to be really grabby. I knew he was going to drain me on some level of energy. Do I want to deal with that? You know, those are previous text messages up before today. So today, when I look back on the previous text messages, I just went ahead and tagged him. Time waster. I didn't even respond to his message this morning. So 30 minutes later or 45 minutes later, after he had texted me, he gave me a phone call. He actually called. So I knew who it was because I tagged his number. I picked up the phone. I answered it. To my surprise, he sounded like a genuine client. Very surprising. Reluctantly, I went ahead and booked with him. I knew booking with him was a 50-50, right? He may not show up the way that his correspondence had previously shown me. Well, he did show up. Oh, wait, let me back up. So he booked, and after knowing, actually, no, he called, right? He booked, he got the prices. And then right after he booked, right after I sent him the address, what does he do? He texts me asking for the lower rate, the one that he had been previously texting me months before. And you know, I have a lot of things to do in life. I making these videos for you is it's new for me. It's not new, kind of, because I have some of this in my background, but you know, it's been a long time, and these bells and whistles, all these buttons are different, and it takes me a little time. I actually prefer to make a video for you this morning than deal with this jackass, you know? So I'll tell you what I said to him when he wanted that time chiseled. You know, he's trying to take my price away. You know, I almost went into a few things. You know, and you don't educate your people. The one thing, girls, if you're in this industry, you don't ever bitch out your people, try to tell them something, give them a smart answer. That's never going to work. It's only going to push them away. They'll never come back, and they could also do other things. You don't want to piss off people who know where you are and what you're offering. See, at this point, he already had my address, so it was a little sketchy for me to do what I did with him right now, but I had to, you know? So this is what he wanted the cheaper, so I didn't answer. So he texts again. Then I said to him this. I said, we can do a briefer session for that. Then he asks for 5 minutes less of the normal 30 minutes. He wants 25 minutes for that $40, discount. No, that's not going to happen. That's not honoring of me. So what do I say to him? I said, let's skip it. Thanks for your interest. The next text. I am worth what I charge. Plain and simple. I don't need him. I don't need his stupid little $100. I don't need everything about him right now is already telling me he's going to annoy the hell out of me in person. Why in the world would I want him in my space, So I go down and have breakfast. I didn't even take my phone. And then I come back and it says, okay, And then again, he's trying to keep with it. He wants the 25 minutes for the cheaper rate. Again, I left my phone, so I'm not responding. So then he sends several. Obviously he's interested, right? Please, can we do it for this? I can be there at this time. Next message, please. Next message, I really need a massage. I still hadn't respond. That's 9:09. This is all going on from from 10 minutes before 8. So 20 minutes of this corresponding back and forth as I ignored my phone because it's not with me. So as I get back up, the text message, that was 9:09, the last message, I really need a massage. The next message was at 9:12, and he says, he surrendered. He said, okay, let's just do the full hour at 9:30 when I will be there, he texted. So just to confirm in my head, to clarify, right, text messages can be misconstrued so easily. So I say, so 1 hour for, and I put my hour rate at 9:30, and he confirms yes. So he shows up. I was actually surprised. He did show up. He came in, rarely do I ever move the money and count it. I don't count my money. I probably should when people lay it down. I trust these people. I trust these men to honor me and to lay down the agreed upon value that has been stated. I, for the most part, never have a problem, Sometimes it'll be, short $5. Sometimes it'll be short 40. So knowing, no, that doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen a lot, right? But if it's someone who's a little on the fence, then I would consider this person on the fence. He's a little bit of a wild card. What is he going to do next? He's obviously got a lot of curveballs, right? He wants to try to see what he can get. Boys are like this. They're going to push the perimeter. So this one is pushing the perimeter with me in this day, in my work day. So he comes in and, his energy was fine. He lay down on the table. But what did I know that was true? He was so grabby, right? He ran his hands over me the entire time. A little caressing on my legs, thighs. That's not a big deal. I understand people need touch. But when you're running your hands the entire duration of the massage session, I'm being pawed, and it's annoying. It's really annoying, especially because I can't even massage your arms because the arms are flapping around. He's trying to pet me, even just my skin. I do have some soft skin. I'll share some of my beauty regimens with you at some point. But so he got a fabulous massage. And I always leave about 10 to 12 minutes for the ending part because everyone's so different, They may take 10 or 12 minutes. Sometimes they take longer. That sucks. A lot of times it's 3 minutes, though, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. This guy popped way fast. He popped way fast. So less than 5 minutes. Less than 4 minutes, definitely. So, by the time he got off the table and dressed, so his body work session was about 47 minutes. My hands had been on him for just over 45 minutes. By the time he dressed and walked out the door, it was about 50 minutes, 55-minute session. That's not bad for an hour. Some girls do 30 minutes and call it an hour. This guy got a real body work session, a real serious, good tissue massage on his whole body, and then he got his fabulousness, So, what does he do? He texts me afterwards, and he says, thank you so much for the massage. And I send him a little heart, I'm grateful too. I'm grateful he came in. I'm grateful he was a nice person. And I, text him next, thank you for allowing me to work on you. It's a mutual exchange, like they're taking a chance letting me work on them. I'm taking a chance letting them in my space so I can work on them as well. So he says, I'd love to do it again. my lower back and bottom are very tight. So I said, I'll be here, you know. Sometimes people say they're going to come back and they never do. Most of the people who say they're going to come back never do. It's the ones who don't say it who will show up the next day and surprise you. You know, probably on the rarest occasion, I may have had someone say I'm coming back tomorrow and maybe have followed through. But my experience of most people don't come back when they say, oh my God, that was so great, I'm coming back tomorrow. Like, most people don't do that. And I know in the moment they feel like they want to, but you know, reality happens and tomorrow's going to happen and they're probably not going to treat themselves again. Sometimes they do. And when they do, those folks don't tell you. They just show up again. They just call you again, you know. I actually had one gentleman come see me twice in a day. He was like around my 10 a.m. morning appointment, and he came back for 9:30 that same evening. So did he tell me he was coming back? No, he didn't. He just called me again in the evening and said, how's your day? Do you have any time? I'd like to come back. You know, it was a very pleasant surprise. So getting back to this time waster, and then who wasn't a time waster, right? He turned out to be not a time waster. That's so rare. Most people who I put on the time wasting list, they don't ever redeem themselves. You know, I had one person who stood me up who I blacklisted, and through a lot of determination on his part was able to get me to agree to see him. And when he came in, you know, he was so happy to be there. He was laying on the table afterwards. He's like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, and you stood me up once, you know. So he never came back again, but he did follow through, you know. So if you mark someone as a time waster, maybe somewhere they might not be, but for the most part, if they're asking you the same redundant questions again and again and then they don't follow through, nip it. You don't need that kind of phone call coming in distracting you at any time of the day. You don't need to hurry a real client out the door or hang up on someone fast because you're trying to get to the next call that you think might be serious when you know it's a time waster. So getting back to this really fast, and then I'll try to close this for right now. So after he says, you know, I'd love to do it again, my lower back and butt are very tight, and I write, I'll be here. So he writes back, sounds good. And can we do tomorrow 4? And now he's back to his super low price, right? The one he originally wanted. And then he says, it was only 45 minutes today. A 47-minute bodywork session, by the time you put your clothes on and walk out the door, and it's 52 minutes or so, by the time you get back to your car and it's been 55 minutes, I'm calling that an hour. That was an hour session. So he's still a little swindly, right? But since I've already scoped him out, I've seen him, I've worked on his energy field, I know who he is, I know what he's all about. At this point, would I consider taking his offer, you know? And that answer is yes. You know, I'm a businesswoman, right? I do want to keep the bad out, but obviously, you know, if he comes in tomorrow for his 30-minute session, which is probably going to be 20, you know, because, you know, you just can't offer people lower rates and expect them to give you the full great service that they're going to get for the full price. You know, if he had lasted longer, if he didn't pop so quick, he would have been on my table for maybe 50 minutes. And then by the time he was off the table and dressed and walking out the door, would have been closer to 56 minutes. You know, but he did pop fast. So is that my folly? Is that my, you know, I can't control people's moments. So if he came a little quicker, I still gave him the same bodywork session that anybody would have got in the hour session, just that the tip at the end wasn't as long because he didn't last that long. So will I see this person? Yes, I'm going to see him for tomorrow. You know, it's great to have a good client. You know, this one redeemed himself. You know, he got off the time waster list. I will always have my ears perked, you know, and see if he's going to throw me any more curveballs, because once they throw you a curveball, that kind of could be their personality type, you know. So I always hope it's not, but you never know. Human beings, you know, we have so much, there's so much unforeseen things that can happen when we interact with human beings and animals, but especially human beings. So anyways, I just went ahead, and with the end of that, I said yes, you know, we'll go ahead and do it for that. And he was like, sounds good. He committed to a time already, and boom, I'm booked for early morning tomorrow, even if it's just a 30-minute session. But what I'm trying to say here is, today I had to train somebody. Today I had to train a client, and it was my attitude, my standing in my personal power, knowing that I'm worth what I'm worth. If you don't want to pay that, go elsewhere. And he surrendered because he knows I don't come here often. I am really high caliber, quality, and you know, if he wanted to have what's around town, it's here all the time, you know. So he took a risk, and he came in and decided to try something unusual. Obviously he enjoyed himself. He's coming back, you know. So that's my video for you today. It's about time wasters in the industry. Certainly girls can waste men's time too, and I'll have to do a whole nother video on that. But that's all I have for you today. I am the Goddess of Awesome. I'll have another video for you tomorrow. Bright blessings and be well.